Welcome to today's Maitrimilan session. Let us start the session with 3 rounds of Omkara. Opening prayer. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yoga Ganapati Mula Mantra. Om Ham Sangam Bhagavate Nitya Yoga Yuktaya Satchidananda Rupine Vinayakaya Namaha. Dakshinamurti Prarthana. Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavatyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Vivekananda Prarthana. Namaste Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukhasvarupaya Swamine Tapaharine Swamine Tapaharine. Samarasya prayer for harmony from Rigveda. Om Sangachadvam Samvadadvam Sambho Manam Sijanatam Deva Bhagayatha Purve Sanjanana Upasate Samano Mantra Samiti Samani Samanam Manasah Chittamesham Samanam Mantra Abhimantra Evaha Samanena Havisha Juhomi Samani Vahakutihi Samana Hridayani Vaha Samanamastu Manaha Yathavassu Sahasati. Panchangam. Adyatana Panchangam. Panchavinshatyadhika ekashatotara Panchasahasratama Kaliyugabdaha Shri Shobhakrit Nama Samvatsaraha Uttarayanam Shishira Rutuhu Magha Krishna Pakshaha Shashti Tithihi Swati Nakshatram Dhruva Yogaha Garaja Karanam Bhargava Vasaraha. Today's date 1st March 2024 Friday. Titheshcha Shriyamapnoti Varadayushavardhanam Nakshadradharate Bhavam Yoga Roga Nivaranam Karanat Karya Siddhishcha Panchanga Phalamuttamam. Sarvesham Shubhostu. Shloka from Bhagavad Gita. Shariram yadavapnoti Yachapyutkramati Ishvaraha Gruhitvaitani samyati Vayurgandhani vashayat. Meaning, as the air carries fragrance from place to place, so does the embodied soul carry the mind and the senses with it, when it leaves an old body and enters a new one.
Kim. So Prabhatam, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Before seeing the shloka, let's see the background so far. So in the 15th chapter, Bhagavan wants to talk about pure consciousness, Nirguna Brahman, that is the name given. But Bhagavan wants to tell that this knowledge is in the form of remedy for what is called samsara. Samsara means the problems that we face day to day, the problematic mind, lot of attachment, lot of burden that we feel. All these problems, that is psychological problem, and he talks about this knowledge as the solution to that problem. So therefore, he first talks about what is that samsara. He describes in the form of samsara vriksha. First 2.5 verses, he talks about that. From the third verse, second half, he talks about what is the solution. So he talks about preparatory solutions like some values that one should have, vairagyam, etc. And the final solution is knowledge. In the previous shloka, that is the fifth shloka, he talks about pure consciousness. How he talks about it? Natad bhasayate suryaha na shashanko na pavakaha. That is how pure consciousness, the awareness is revealed. Then in the from the 6th onwards, 6th to up to 11th, you can say 6, 7 and 7 to 11, it talks about how that pure consciousness is appearing as this individual. And it starts with the shloka, the previous shloka, which says Mamaivangsha Jiva Loke Jiva Bhutaha. So Mama here is mine. Mine here, Krishna does not mean the Krishna, local Krishna or Ishvara along with this creation, Vishwarupa Ishvara. He is talking about my real nature, pure consciousness. Eva Amshaha. Amshaha means usually part, division. But we have to understand Amshaha very well. So therefore, I am going to show this example. In our body, mainly there are three. Our body can be divided into three. This body, mind, sense complex. First is the Sthula Sharira, which you can see. Second is the Sukshma Sharira, which is not seen, which includes the mind. Third is the Karana Sharira, the cause. Let us only focus on Sthula and Sukshma. In Sukshma Sharira, the mind is there. And mind is made up of very fine matter. It is called subtle matter. It is also matter only. And how is that mind? What does that mind do? It reflects the pure consciousness. Like what? Let us look at these mirrors. So we have mirrors. Sunlight is falling on the mirror. There are many mirrors. Every mirror will have one reflection or not? You can take example of mirror or you can take example of water. So there will be reflection. Now let us see what are the different aspects of this reflection so that we can compare it with the individual. The first aspect is the original sunlight. Is the original sunlight present everywhere? Okay. Suppose let's take a very dark room, under dungeon, cave, some place like that. I don't know how many of you all have seen Ajanta Ellora. There, inside the cave, there is no sunlight available. Sun is there, sunlight is there, but it's not available there. So to make it available, what people do, the guides usually, they have small reflecting mirrors. They will go near the sunlight, they will have certain angle and the reflected light will fall. And though the sunlight is required originally, and the mirror is required and the reflected light is required. All the three are there, and only then I can see in the dark room. Similarly, here mind is like the mirror. The original consciousness, pure consciousness is the real nature, my nature, nature of Bhagavan. And this reflected consciousness is like the individual called Jiva. That is why Bhagavan says, Mama eva amsha jiva bhutaha jiva loke. Then The question is, why is Bhagavan talking about this? Because Bhagavan wants to say, my real nature, pure consciousness alone is appearing as this individual and this world. So, from shloka number 7 to 11, he is talking about how I, the pure consciousness, is appearing as this individual. So, therefore, he is explaining. And in the the second half of the previous shloka, he says, Mavaivamshe jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manashashtanindriyani prakritisthani karshati. Karshati basically draws. The mind is the medium and prana is there in our body. Many of them say, most of the local languages we say, when somebody dies, we say prana left the body. So prana is the carrier for the body which is subtle, and this subtle body reflects the pure consciousness, and that is how this body is becoming alive. So when that prana along with the subtle body is taken away from this body, the pure consciousness is there, but its reflection is no longer available within this body, and therefore the body is inert. Without the reflected consciousness, the body is inert. So that is the reflection example that I wanted to talk about. So in the second half and in this shloka, he is talking about how the jiva, the individual, moves from one body to another. The question is, when is he going to move? When is the time of the death? The time of the death is decided by the prarabdha. If the type of action that you have done in the previous births and this birth decide how long you are going to live and what quality of life you are going to live. And we have seen, if you are sattva guna pradhana, how you move in the next life to the next life. Tammo means you move downwards, and if it is rajo means you stay in manushya loke as manushya. Stay in the sense, go to another body. Now, the Atma, the pure consciousness, does not move, but the reflection keeps on moving. See, if I move these mirrors, will the reflection move or not? The reflected sunlight moves or not? But the original sunlight is always there as it is. So similarly, pure consciousness is always there, but it is made available as this individual appears as an individual because of the mind. So there are many minds, many reflected consciousness. So the mind moves from the body at the time of the death along with the prana, sukshma sharira, and it then goes to another body. And this is what is told in this shloka. It started in the previous shloka, it is told in this shloka. So let us look at the shloka. Let us look at the word split. Shariram yad avapnoti yad cha api utkramati ishvaraha grihitvaitani grihitva etani sanyati vayu gandhan iva ashayat. So he is Krishna Paramatma is giving one example for this, how this happens. So shariram yad avapnoti, this part is, let us consider later. Yad cha api utkramati ishvaraha. Here ishvaraha means the pure consciousness which is appearing as this individual jiva is called ishvaraha. And what does that ishvaraha does? Utkramati, it goes away from the existing body. How that is given in the previous shloka? By pulling the subtle body goes. So along with the subtle body, your indriyas and the mind, all of them move from this gross body to another gross body. And the movement is talked about Utkramati Ishvaraha. Then what happens next? After the subtle body is taken away from this gross body, you know what happens to this gross body. It becomes, all the five Mahabhutas are there, temperature goes away, the moment prana goes away, the body becomes cold. Then you have water. After some time, when you burn the body, the moisture also goes away. Then Prithvi Tattva goes back to Prithvi, Vayu Tattva goes back to Vayu. So all the Tattvas go back to the original state, whatever it is. Then what happens to this Sukshma Sharira? It enters another body, and that is what is told here. When the Sukshma Sharira enters the other body, Shariram yad avapnoti. Okay, then what is it? Grihitva, having taken the Sukshma Sharira, this Jiva, this reflected consciousness moves to the new body from the old body. And for that an example is given, like, let us assume the flower is there, the fragrance is there or not? Okay, is the fragrance visible? Okay, is the air visible? No. Just as the air moves the fragrance of the flower from one place to another, this Jiva, which is the reflected consciousness along with the mind, moves the fragrance like subtle body from one gross body to another. This is what is the meaning of this verse. Thank you.
I request Registrar Sir to hoist the flag after Shanti Mantra. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhave. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam Sukhalam, Malaya Shitalam, Shasya Shamalam Mataram, Vande Shubhra Jyotsna Pulakitayamini, Khulla Kusumita Drumadara Shobhini, Suhasini Sumadura Bhashini, Sukhadam Varadam Mataram, Vande Vande Mataram. Bharat Mata ki Vande